Select Start to embark on a journey to learn how sickle cell disease may affect the human body. Let's start in the bloodstream. There are four major components of blood. Red blood cells carry oxygen throughout the body. White blood cells fight infections caused by viruses and bacteria. Platelets help the body form clots and repair damaged tissues. Plasma is the largest component and transports the tools the body needs to function. Sickle cell disease is part of a group of disorders that are caused by problems with the gene coding for a protein called hemoglobin. In people with sickle cell disease, hemoglobin doesn't work as it should and can stick together. When this happens, a stiff tube is formed and pulls the red blood cells into a crescent or sickle shape. Healthy red blood cells are flexible and can easily move throughout the blood vessels, but sickle-shaped cells cannot move as easily. Sickle-shaped cells are more fragile than regular blood cells and can break apart in a process called hemolysis, which can result in the body not having enough healthy cells. Sickle cells damage the walls of blood vessels. The wall of a blood vessel is called the endothelium. The damage causes inflammation, which leads to endothelial activation. When the endothelium is activated, special receptors called selectins increase in appearance on the surface of the endothelium. White blood cells and platelets come to repair the damage to the endothelium, but these, along with both sickled and healthy red blood cells, can stick to the selectins. As these cells become stuck, the blood flow slows and can ultimately result in blocking the blood vessel. This is called an occlusion. Occlusions stop oxygen from getting to the cells. This can cause pain and may damage vital organs. Overall, sickle cell disease can cause disability, which may lead to both emotional and physical problems. You are now entering the brain. Sometimes people with sickle cell disease may have a stroke. This is when blockages caused by sickle cells, like the one you see forming here, prevent oxygen from getting to an area of the brain. Without oxygen, cells in the brain can die. When this happens, parts of the brain can't work as they should. Sometimes a person can have a stroke and not know it. The symptoms may not be obvious. Other times, the symptoms can be very noticeable and may include facial drooping, one-sided weakness, or difficulty understanding speech. That might sound a little bit like this. If you experience the symptoms of a stroke, seek immediate medical treatment. Let's take a look inside the eye. The eyes can also be affected by sickle cell disease. Photoreceptors, which are the cells that help convert light to help people see, are located above the blood vessels in the retina. Retinal blood vessels are responsible for supplying the eyes with oxygen. If these blood vessels get blocked by sickle cells, it can cause damage to the cells that let people see. To fight this, the body will try to grow new blood vessels. These new blood vessels can damage the eye by pushing on internal structures and leaking fluid that can lead to scarring. The damage to the eye can cause people to see flashes, floaters, or dark shadows. Whoa, sorry. It can get pretty blurry when that happens. The outside of the eye can be affected as well. When the liver does not process red blood cells as well as it should, the white part of the eye, called the sclera, can appear yellow. This yellowing, called jaundice, is caused by a compound called bilirubin, which can build up in the eyes and skin. Let's explore the lungs. Sickle cell blockages can cause blood to get trapped in the lungs. This may prevent the lungs from getting the oxygen they need. damaging the cells within. This can result in acute chest syndrome. A person who has this can experience cough, shortness of breath, fever, and chest pain. This syndrome is a medical emergency and should be treated immediately. Now, let's travel to the spleen. Blockages in the spleen can affect its ability to remove bacteria from the body, leading to a higher likelihood of certain types of lung, brain, and blood infections. Over time, the spleen can become scarred and permanently damaged. As you can see around you, blood can get trapped and build up in the spleen. This process is called splenic sequestration. This can cause the spleen to increase in size, called splenomegaly. This condition can be life-threatening if not treated. Next, our journey takes us to the kidneys. Blockages can prevent cells in the kidneys from getting the oxygen that they need. This can cause damage and result in cell death. It can even cause the kidneys to shrink, and over time, lead to kidney failure. Sickle cells can also cause the blood vessels in the kidneys to get squeezed, which makes the blood pressure go up. This increases sickling, which can lead to blood in the urine. Now we'll look at the bones in the hip. Take a moment to look around at the human skeleton. You are standing on top of the bone that connects the leg to the hip, called the femur. In front of you is the femoral head, which is the ball that fits into the hip. Like other organs, bones can be damaged by sickle cell occlusion. When blood cannot circulate within bones, it can cause bone cells to die. This is called avascular necrosis. The penis can also be affected. Let's take a look. About 45% of males with sickle cell disease will experience a condition called priapism, which is an erection that lasts too long. Normally, erections begin when the penis fills with blood and end when the blood flows back out. Blockages caused by sickle cells can stop the release of blood and cause painful erections. If priapism is not treated quickly, the penis can be damaged. Let's go inside the skin. Sickle cell disease can also cause occlusions in the skin. If there is additional trauma to the skin, it can cause an ulcer. Look up to see one forming here. Now, let's take a look from the outside. Ulcers are painful and especially prone to infection. Another common outward feature of sickle cell disease is the presence of jaundice, where the skin, eyes, and mouth become yellow. This happens because the liver is affected by sickle cell disease too. Select an area to explore.